Let's look at Anthony Ryder from South Lyon, Michigan, recently selected as the Lions 2020 Fan of the Year. He has a passion about sports broadcasting.
With the 112th selection in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver, USC. One pride, baby! Yeah!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Detroit Lions video. Now, yesterday we talked a lot about some of the veteran players that are standing out in mandatory minicamp, and we kind of skipped over the rookies. We kind of glossed over them and pushed them to a separate video, as I really wanted to focus on some of the veteran names that have been there for a while that are starting to show improvement, are starting to find their spots before focusing on the newcomers. But today, that is exactly what we're going to do. Today, we are going to focus on the rookies. We're going to talk about the top 5 rookies in Detroit Lions mandatory minicamp. The 5 rookies that have been showing out and playing better than any other rookie from this class, whether it be UDFA or drafted players. So, with all that being said and all that out of the way, let's get right on into taking a look at the biggest standout rookies from mandatory minicamp. Now, starting off with Kirby Joseph, the 3rd round selection, the 97th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, has done nothing but impress coaches. Now, granted, Kirby Joseph has played primarily with the second team and the special teams unit, right? He hasn't really played many, if any, snaps with the first team, and it is going to be hard for him to see the field as a prominent starter with guys like Tracy Walker and Deshaun Elliott slated in front of him on the depth chart. But I do think Kirby Joseph is going to get time as a starter. I do think he will play as that third safety role, and I do think Kirby Joseph will play upwards of 500 snaps this season as a rookie free safety. So he does need to play very well to do that. He does obviously have to play well if he's going to be on the field. And Kirby Joseph, as I said, is only impressing coaches and getting better every single day in minicamp. He has played at the highest level of maybe any Lions defensive back so far at camp. He has multiple pass breakups in team drills and has 2 separate interceptions in the team competitive periods. The Lions this season have put a ton of emphasis on competition, and part of that comes with team competitive drills where they are giving a scenario to the offense and the defense, right, where you have to drive so many yards in so many seconds and score a touchdown to either win and lose the game. If the offense scores a touchdown, they win the competitive period. If the defense wins, if the defense doesn't allow a touchdown, if the defense gets a turnover, they win the competitive drill. And so far, Kirby Joseph has simply dominated those team drills. He has been an impact player. He has shown off range. He's shown off instincts. He has shown off so many different tools that can be translated onto the field on Sundays. Kirby Joseph has, as I said, 2 interceptions in those competitive periods, both of them coming off of Tim Boyle, one coming off of an overthrow, and one simply coming off of just a really good read and react situation where Kirby Joseph jumped the route and got a nice interception. Has multiple other PBUs on the week, and just overall has played extremely well as a 3rd round safety. He is somebody that I expect to play in 2022 and somebody I think will have a huge impact on the Lions defense. Now, moving over to the offensive side of the ball, Khalil Pimpleton, the undrafted free agent wide receiver, has been maybe the most impressive offensive player so far from this rookie class. Khalil Pimpleton, as I mentioned, was not drafted, wasn't selected with any of the 256 selections in the 2022 draft, but was probably the first player that the Detroit Lions called once UDFA hit and once the actual draft had concluded. Khalil Pimpleton was a standout player at Central Michigan with his route running and his hands, putting up really good statistics in the MAC conference, but standing at just 5'9" and never posting a 1,000-yard receiving season, he was simply just not productive enough or didn't have the measurables to be considered a draftable player. But Khalil Pimpleton's looking to prove all of those teams wrong, as in training camp, he is just, dominating in certain drills. You want to talk about one-on-ones, 7-on-7s, competitive team periods, any offensive drill that has to showcase route running, separation, and hands, he has excelled. He is somebody that consistently gets separation, somebody that consistently wins one-on-one, somebody that consistently wins in 7-on-7s, and if he is in single coverage, he probably 70 to 80% of the time is breaking off that route and getting 2 to 3 yards of separation, and as long as Tim Boyle and David Blau are putting the ball in his hands, as long as they're giving him good quality passes that he can actually realistically catch, Khalil Pimpleton has been simply one of the most dynamic and explosive players in Lions minicamp. Right? Strengths include route running, as I said, separation, hands, just being really, really shifty after the catch, has good yak ability. And I understand that the competition for wide receiver is very tough this year, right? With Chark, with Williams, St. Brown, Cephas, Reynolds, Raymond, and even Trinity Benson, who's been having a really good training camp in his own right. All are competing for 6 wide receiver spots. That's 8 wide receivers for 6 positions, and 4 of those wide receivers I would say are guaranteed. 4 to 5 of those wide receivers are guaranteed locks for the regular season, right? DJ Chark down to Quintez Cephas, I would say, is pretty much guaranteed. So it's really 3 to 4 guys fighting for that last wide receiver 6 spot. And although Khalil Pimpleton might not be the favorite going into the NFL season, he is simply making his name known. And it's going to make it hard for the Lions to cut the Central Michigan product. Now, Jameson Williams is another player that has been very impressive to coaches. And Jameson Williams hasn't been impressing on the field, as he is yet to actually put on pads and as he is yet to run a route in the Honolulu Blue. But what he has been impressive with has been just the amount of commitment that he's put towards rehab and the very clear willingness to get better and healthy as soon as possible. Right, Jameson Williams, as we all know, tore his ACL in January in the national title game and hasn't played a snap of football since. The Lions took a risk on him drafting him at number 12 overall, but Jameson Williams is doing everything in his power to get back on the field and is even doing a lot of stuff off the field that isn't being asked of him that is really impressing coaches, right? On some of the Lions off days, you're seeing Jameson Williams stay behind, do extra work in the weight room, do extra work in the rehab center, getting ready to come back on the field, right? He's been super attentive in film sessions. He's been very attentive, very willing to learn the new offense, has been talking with all different coaches, the wide receivers coaches, the offensive coordinator, has been talking with Jared Goff and the rest of the wide receivers, trying to get as much information as possible so that he isn't far behind once he's physically able to perform yet again. Jameson Williams has been walking around training camp with a football in hand all day, every day. And although he's not running routes, he's obviously wanting to get back on the field. He obviously wants to be there. And he is somebody that has just gone above and beyond at training camp, right? Hasn't been able to physically perform. But if somebody's going to stay after, right? If a first round rookie is willing to stay on the off days, is willing to stay on the days he doesn't have to put in extra rehab work, to put in extra, time in the facility, that speaks a lot to his character and to his football character as to why the Detroit Lions drafted this kid. Now, 6th round linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez has also been making a name for himself and has also been, very much talked about by this Detroit Lions coaching staff. He is somebody that the coaching staff continues to praise for his smarts, for his football IQ, for his playmaking ability, for his coverage skill, right? I mean, Dan Campbell has talked about him 2 or 3 different times, and the media seems to talk about Malcolm Rodriguez every single time that he hits the field. Projected as a early day 3 guy, maybe even a late day 2 guy, Malcolm Rodriguez fell all the way to the 6th round and is one of the biggest steals for the Detroit Lions in this year's draft class. Malcolm Rodriguez has shown coverage ability, he's shown football IQ, he's even shown a little bit of leadership on the 2nd and 3rd string teams with the linebacker and just in general with the 2nd and 3rd string defenses, and he is somebody that the Lions are looking to implement into their defense. He's somebody that, has a skill set that the rest of the linebacking core doesn't have. He has, some tools that the other linebacking core doesn't have, and he is somebody that I think, again, kind of like Kirby Joseph, might not start, but very well could have a large role in the defense, and he is somebody that is continuing to catch the eye of the coaches and the media. Now, the last player we're going to talk about today is the obvious one, right? The guy that it wouldn't be a best players of training camp, wouldn't be a best players of mini camp if we didn't talk about 2nd overall pick, Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson has been easily the most dominant rookie in Detroit Lions training camp, and he has been maybe even the most impressive rookie across the NFL. He might be the most impressive player from the Detroit Lions training camp in general. He is right up there and having one of the best camps we have seen in a very long time. Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn continue to praise this kid for getting better and learning every single day. He comes into training camp every day better than he was the day before. And I mean, when you have a rookie pass rusher that got 3 sacks on 3 consecutive plays in competitive team drills, that is going to catch your eye immediately. The entire defensive line is starting to get pressure in Detroit, and Aiden Hutchinson is arguably the most impressive of the bunch. I know we talk a lot about Romeo Okwara. I know we talk a lot about Charles Harris. I know we talk a lot about the rest of the defensive line as well. But Aiden Hutchinson so far at rookie minicamp, and as far as overall, but Aiden Hutchinson so far at mandatory minicamp has been maybe the most impactful and maybe the best player on the entire roster. So with all that being said, that is all for you guys today. Those are the biggest standout rookies as of right now. Those, of course, are not the only guys to stand out. Those are not the only rookies to have good mini camps. There are other players there, but those are the 5 most impressive. So with all that being said, that is all for you guys today. Thank you all so very much for watching, and until next time, and as always, go Lions.